KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning here, live from the Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin Road. We'll be here till 6 o'clock. Miller's Mission continuing, and of course we'll talk a little bit about the election, which continues, apparently voting up 50% with the Republicans and 175% with the Democrats. An amazing election. We've got a powerhouse roundtable. Larry Gebert joining us, Reverend Bill from the Boise Rescue Mission, Dave Petso. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this, the big three.
Well, that's just because we're taking up too many spaces and chairs, I think. It's only two microphones here. We're going to have to arm wrestle.
And Larry won't share. I don't know what's up with that.
Well,
I have to share with Dave.
Well, we had cutbacks. We're going in a different direction, less microphones.
Yeah, cutbacks. We don't need you, Kevin. Loan us yours.
Yes, exactly. I get that a lot. I do get that a lot. We don't want to give the broadcast executives any ideas.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. I'm not kidding either. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Miller's Mission from Larry Gebert's perspective. You do so much for the community, Larry. You're always out. You set the standard for all of us. And
wow.
We so appreciate what you do.
I don't see it that way. I mean, thank you, Kevin. That's awesome.
Well, thanks for just destroying all the credibility that I established.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't look at it that way. But I appreciate that you do.
You do.
I really do. Because of the fact that I just think that we just, in broadcasting, we just have a duty to serve the community. You and I talked about that before. That's what the FCC wrote for the very first sentence about broadcasting, is to serve the public need. Well, I took that very seriously from the day I started working in this business, and I started working in this business quite by accident, but only because I wanted to help an organization. It happened to be muscular dystrophy, and I was in college, and I wanted to do a dance. You're old enough to remember dance marathons? Anybody?
I remember.
Kevin, remember those dance
Dave
marathons?
Petso and I are too young for that.
It was very popular in the 70s before you were born.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put on a dance marathon to raise money for muscular dystrophy, so I went to the #1 radio station in the town I was in, which is Helena, Montana. Now, there's not a lot. There was 5 radio stations, but I went to the #1 radio station, and I sat down with the program director and had a conversation with him about why I thought they should sponsor our dance marathon that we're going to do. And I got all done, and he just looked at me, and he goes, and I said, so what do you think? And he goes, I think you have a really nice voice and a nice natural delivery. And I said, oh, thank you. And he goes, do you ever think about being a disc jockey? And I said, well, yeah, but then again, who hasn't? Look at Kevin. I mean, anyway, I was just pretty much anybody at home going, oh, I could do that. So, all right, sorry, that was too easy. But I said, are you gonna? He goes, oh, I'm sorry. He says, this was a great presentation. I love this. He says, we'll sponsor your day. It's be a lot of fun. He says, but by the way, he says, if you worked here, you could promote this even more. And I didn't realize that phrase would forever change my life, and it did. It's funny how you look back, something that simple that changed your life, and I just thought he's right. Because when you work in broadcasting, you can, and I think you have an obligation to bring out the message of nonprofits, of organizations that need some help. And that's what this is all about. I mean, it's mass media, sure, it's mass communications, but if we can do an effective job of helping you, Reverend Bill, or the Rescue Mission, bring out that message, then I just feel like we've just done what we are supposed to do.
And the fact of the matter is, Larry...
Larry really isn't sharing his microphone with you, I noticed.
No. And that's okay. He's a big guy. He needs a mic of his own. Dave
that's
and
right, I do.
We're a smaller guy. Hey, but the truth of the matter is... Well,
that was a jab. That was a jab. No,
no jab. The truth of the matter is, though, that's another unique thing about this community in this valley, where here we have Channel 7, the news channel that everyone really, catches and watches. We have KIDO 580, Kevin Miller, the King of the Morning Drive. We got Dave Petso from Petso Financial. And here we are,
the Warren Buffett of the Treasure Valley,
or something. Yeah,
but but Dave Petso is very generous. He gives a lot. I know he believes in the Rescue Mission, but even in the wintertime when we have our 7 Cares Idaho Shares, Dave Petso was one of the first business people, not necessarily approached, but came to us to say, I want to be a big part of this. Dave's been part of our morning news for many years, and he provides just information. information. He just comes in, provides information for folks, just things to think about. But I don't. But and he never. You don't want. I know you don't want a lot of credit for this, but I feel it's necessary because when I knew that you were one of the might have even been the first to come forward and say, hey, I want to be a part of this. I just want to make a donation, a cash donation. That inspired a lot of other businesses to look at that and say, they wanted to also. I mean, and that's what makes that program grow every year.
It's an amazing program. I think it just shows, again, when we all team up together, whether it's in the media and we have the local media and all these wonderful charities that are spending so much time. And we can go make more money, but you can't make more time.
Yeah.
And these people that serve these organizations are amazing giving people. But you take those together and you can really change things and change lives.
Sure.
And that's where you come in right now. Miller's Mission, the Boise Rescue Mission, online anytime, boiserm.org, or stop by the Walmart Garrity and Franklin. We're going to be here until Saturday at 6 or at any of the convenient Boise Rescue Mission locations. And you can donate at the thrift store in Nampa. But really, folks, swimsuits, sunscreen, clothes, tax deductible cash donations. Really, this is what we're here for. And it's great to have Reverend Bill, Larry Gebert, Dave Petzo, and so many people here making a difference. And gentlemen, when you see the lives that are touched by the rescue mission, it's just inspiring.
Well, it is, and I just think about the times, and I've known Dave Petzo for a long time, and you're successful now and things are going well for you, but you can look back over points in time where you struggled, whether it be family or whatever the case may be, all struggled, and every once in a while you just needed someone just to kind of talk to help a little bit. You didn't need a handout, but you maybe needed a little help up, and sometimes it's just somebody there for you that's just willing to listen to your story. We've all gone through that. Reverend Roscoe, I know that you're the same way, and those success stories that you hear from the rescue mission, where there was just someone there to take you in, or just to listen to you. I mean, take you in could be anything. Take you in for the night could be take you in for half an hour, just so you could talk. Because sometimes just having someone who cares, genuinely cares, and listens to you makes all the difference in the world.
It does.
Right.
Well said.
And that's where your donations come in to fund this, because as Larry said, there's no government donations with the Boise Rescue Mission. Reverend Bill, you've inspired people for years. What would you say to people now that they may be new to the area, they may not know about the Boise Rescue Mission?
Well, the first thing I'd say, Kevin, is that they need to come down and check us out. I don't want anybody just to write a check, put it in an envelope, send it away, and not know what they're doing. Come down and have a tour of one of our facilities. You can call us at the office, check us out on the web, boiserm.org, and make a date. Come down and have a look around, meet our staff, and see for yourself what's going on at the mission. And one of the first things that I hear when people do that is, I didn't know you did that. Whether it's having children with their moms in the recovery program, which is a very unique thing, whether it's having a dorm just for sick people over at the River of Life Rescue Mission, people with physical illness, people with all kind of disabilities that just came out of the hospital with a major surgery. We can keep them in a smaller place. They didn't know that we have a veterans program where we transition a couple dozen veterans every year from homelessness back into the community. And that's what I want people to do, because I want them to see, as Dave and you and Dave were talking about earlier this morning, Kevin, the return on investment, as far as I'm concerned, at the rescue mission is very, very high. 44% of the shelter stays in April were for children. 33% of all the meals served in April were for children. And when you look at that you're taking care of these kids and you're helping these kids to have as normal a life as they're going to have in the situation that they're in, I think that's a great return on investment when you can encourage a kid and his mom or her mom to think that there are people here that care about me, people here that will help me, and people that will make a difference in our lives.
One of the things, too, that, correct me if I'm wrong, but this time of the year, kids are in school right now, so there's school lunch programs. For a lot of them, there's breakfast programs. When they're out of school, that's you who are helping out with those kids in need right now. And you're going to be, you said 33%. That's going up, isn't it?
It probably will, Larry, and that's a good point, because in the summertime, once school dismisses, that's when ladies who have children and are in a bad situation, a difficult situation in their living environment, that's when they make a move. And we see the numbers of women and children in shelter go up starting in late May all the way through the rest of the summer. and that's when ladies get out of that bad place. And that's too bad. It's a tragedy that it has to be that way, and that it is that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Well, but the good news is they can come to City Light, they can come to the Valley Women and Children's Shelter, and they can find the support, encouragement, and the help that they need to get into a better place.
Sure. And we say that all the time, but I get it. I understand where it's such a difficult decision for women to make that choice, to make that decision, because they blame themselves to begin with. Mm-hmm. They're pretty sure that they're at fault and that they're the reason why. They're not, but they feel that way, and then they'll look at something as simple as, well, the kids are going to be out of school. We might not be able to have lunch. I might not be able to be there for them for lunch, so I guess I'm going to stay in this horrible situation a little bit longer. And we'll sit around and we'll say, oh my God, I can't believe you would do that. But yeah, they do, and I get it. I understand. Yeah. I understand that they make that decision, but we don't want them to feel that way.
No, we don't, and that's that's why this kind of program is so very important, Kevin, and why we appreciate you doing this so much. Mm-hmm. Because here we are, able to talk to all the listeners today and explain these kinds of things to people that they might not otherwise know. It's a tough life out there for a lot of people, and we're making a difference.
Well, and by the way, BoiseRM.org, Kevin Miller, Larry Gebert, Reverend Bill Roscoe, Dave Petzo with us here. And Dave, times are good, but as we've covered so many stories, whether on Channel 7 or KIDO Talk Radio 107.5 FM, 580 AM, times weren't always so good in the Treasure Valley. No. And for people that have felt blessed, what would you say to them to stop by or take a look online anytime at BoiseRM.org?
Well, I would say that because we are growing so much, it creates also an expensive housing environment, and so we even have people that are working but struggling. One of the things I was going to mention too were the end of the month meals that are served often, right? That people who are not at the mission come in and get some meals as well.
And we'll get to that. Larry, you're not the off-site director here. We'll get to that in a minute. Back to you, Dave Petzo.
Yeah.
You can feel the flow. Yes.
He was just moving with it. Way to move with it.
Larry does share a mic.
Exactly. We'll continue on. But back to your point, the idea of a meal that most of us take for granted.
We do, and of course they're there. It's one of those things that people don't understand what a blessing for a community it is to have somewhere that people can rely on, and they're there for a meal, to help the kids get clothes, teach somebody how to go get a job. They're there all the time for the people that fall through the cracks.
And that's where you come in. Won't you help us help local families through the Boise Rescue Mission? More coming up. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
My life before the River of Life Men's Program was centered around using and getting drugs. I was a poor example of a father. I was a poor example of someone who should fit into society. It's a very empty feeling, one so dark your soul can't admit, that you need the help. And the devil's always around the corner. He's always on the job, prowling like a roaring lion. It's miserable, You not only smell funny, but you can't. A clean pair of socks or a clean pair of underwear is amazing. What a difference it would make. The showers at the men's mission is always open, and I found comfort in the fact that they would give me an opportunity to clean up and get, a little bit better. It's amazing, and so many people take it for granted, but I'm one of those who hasn't taken it for granted. I like to come in, to a place that provides a hot meal, to fill my hungry tummy, to give me a chance at some clean clothes and a shower. It's amazing. A lot of people who come to the mission get another chance at life. I'm learning morals and values and things that can't really be explained. Just being involved with this program has given me hope for the future. It's given me an opportunity to see that I am worth something, and that the people that have given to this program, I can't thank enough. It's going to provide a better grandpa and a better father for my daughter. She's 18 now, but she still needs her daddy. And, because of my going through this program, I will have better boundaries and better guidelines for her, and I will be a better human being because of it.
And there we have it. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio. The Napa Walmart, thanks to Camping World, Team Mazda Subaru, and the Boise Rescue Mission. Dave Petzo with us, along with Reverend Bill Roscoe of the Boise Rescue Mission. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Coming up, much more on this, but I do have to ask Dave Petzo. Many people are looking at the housing market and saying that it could be cooling off because of the rise of interest rates. Could you see that happening?
Yeah, to a degree. On the margin, right now we're okay. Interest rates have risen to a 7-year high. So mortgage rates are now 7-year high. That goes back a long ways. It tells us how artificially low our interest rates have been for a really long time. I think we're going to see marginally more people that are not able to be in the housing market. Again, I don't think it's a big deal at this point. Historically, rates are very, very low. But when you start hitting over 3% on the 10-year Treasury, that's what the mortgage rates are kind of based on. So now mortgages are up over 4%. It's a different. It's a little more expensive now to buy a home, and the price of homes has skyrocketed. So again, to our discussion earlier, talking about those people that are kind of falling through the cracks, Kevin, I think it's going to be more, and that's also going to drive up the cost of apartments, of rentals, and that's where that, part of the people that you all serve are in that environment.
Right, we're seeing that, but again, interest rates coming up to, like, for a 30-year home are almost 5% now. Isn't that gonna have an impact? Because people are buying homes. I'm watching these shows, and we have, Timber and Love, the local company that's on HG Channel. They did a good run. They've got 6. They call it Boise Boys. It's a big flip your house kind of thing. Uh-huh. I know you're a big fan of that, but
I watch a lot of TV.
They're buying homes on the north end for like $300 and selling them after they fix them up with about $100,000 renovations for $500 or $600, as if that's normal. It's not just these guys; it's a lot of people.
A lot of people doing it. Yeah.
Sooner or later, aren't people going to get caught like they did the last time? If you're, hey, I'm putting $10,000 down, I'm flipping a house, and I put $100,000 in. Oh my! It didn't sell in 3 days. Right. That's just not normal, right?
Right. Kevin, you're right. Some people will get caught, but you'll see contractors that go out of business in a good environment like this. Some people are not good at business. They just aren't. It's really true. Some financial advisors do not end up with a good retirement plan. They don't. It's just it's not always the same. It's the skill set's different for running a business as it is to be a skilled person in that business. It's a very different skill set. We'll see that. What's different, though, it's not systemic. We're not seeing liar loans. We're not seeing $5,000 down gets you a McMansion. That is not, the banking business won't do that. So if you are willing to lend money for whatever number you say, 7%, 8%, to the flippers out there, then that's an investment, and that's an investment loss to that. It won't hurt the system. It's not going to be systemic. So you're right. Some people will go out of business. Some people will lose money doing this. And you have to be careful when you invest, especially in a private organization that really isn't diversified. It's one person. Joe's a really good guy, whatever it is, and he does a great job. That's fine. But have you really done your due diligence? I would be very careful in that environment. We saw that, and it was the Great Recession that exposed it, but we saw all of these subprime lending places, particularly out in Caldwell. There was a good number of them. Golf courses gone, all those things. And people lost all of their money. All of it, and they thought they were making a low-risk investment. They really did.
More coming up next, traffic and weather together. And we go to Liberty Linda, who joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Liberty Linda.
Yes, good morning, Kevin. I just wanted to call in and thank you for doing this every year, and to say hi to Reverend Bill and Larry Gebbard and Dave Petzo, and thank them for coming by every year as well. And, to encourage the people that are out there listening, please stop by. Even if you want to donate $2, $5, $10, all of it helps. And, Kevin, to hear these marvelous stories like the one we just heard, and how it changes a person's life and starts to bring life back into their lives. Every story just touches my heart. And so thank you again. And hi, Kelsey, and your little helper there. She's wonderful. And so that's basically what I want to do.
You're right.
The Boise Rescue Mission helps so many people here, and please come in and give as little or as much as you can to help out. That's what I'd like to say this morning.
Liberty Linda, thank you very much. We'll see you out here, hopefully.
Yes, I will stop by. Thank you, Kevin.
And we go to Liberal Steve, who joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Liberal Steve.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. I don't know how you do it, dude. I just don't know how you do it, especially hanging out with people like Half a Dollar Dave and Wild Bill. And should I say it about our weatherman, Lion Larry? Anyway.
You forgot Tea Party Bob's out here. He's looking for you.
Well, now that you're closer to my neck of the woods, I will have to stop by and put a little dinero in the basket. But just keep up the good work. And do the cities, I wanted to ask Wild Bill, do the cities offer anything for the kids as far as programs?
The city does have some programs for kids, Steve, and I'm not totally up to speed on that. Kelsey might know more about that than me. But the fact of the matter is we offer programs for kids that are, I think, as good or better than the city programs. And that's because from the day school gets out, which is coming right up on us now until school starts in the fall, we have a day program for kids every day, Monday through Friday, 8 in the morning to about 5, 6 in the evening. And not only does that give all the children a great day of fun and activities and visiting different places that are interesting and fun, but it also gives mom relief from having to take care of those kids during the day. So if mom's working, there's no daycare cost for her because we're going to provide for her children. They're going to be safe and they're going to have fun.
That's what we call the sounds of spring, the carts going by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you guys stay fired up. Don't forget to vote for Paulette November.
All right. We appreciate that. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie. You know, again, it's great to see everybody here. As we say, this is a team, Miller's Mission, and we want to thank Joe King, George, Jacob, everybody at Town Square Media, the parent company of KIDO Talk Radio, Camping World, our friends at Channel 7, the Boise Rescue Mission, Team Mazda Subaru for making this happen. It's kind of like a reunion here at the Walmart parking lot. We do this twice a year. Usually in the fall, I'm dressed up as a giant turkey, and yes, I have the physique to match that, and at 50 years old, that's probably my biggest accomplishment in life, the physique of a turkey. And
today it's a succulent orange.
Yes, thank you. Larry, why don't you repeat that again?
I'm sorry. Today it's a succulent orange.
Yes.
Can we just like record that and use that as a clip?
As a drop?
Just a drop?
Yes, okay.
Tomorrow will be a lime.
Okay, here you go, Larry. One more time there.
All right. And now a succulent orange.
Okay. We'll record that and use that as a drop. Like I said, my parents are so proud. Reverend Bill, your thoughts today?
My thoughts are that, number one, your parents are really proud of you, and rightly so, Kevin. You're a great American, a great member of our community, and this work that you do for our cause at the Rescue Mission is really sincerely appreciated. So again, I want to remind people that we're serving a lot of women and children right now. Summer's coming. We need the sunscreen. We need the summer clothes for kids. Swimsuits would be great for children. We always need food. You can bring down any kind of non-perishable food product. You can also give us cash because we do pay the light bill, the cooling bill, the heating bill, and water bills, just like everybody else does. So it's great for you to take a week out of your life and dedicate it to helping us like this, and I really appreciate that.
Well, it really comes down to the idea, and Larry, you as an award-winning meteorologist, journalist with years of experience in the Treasure Valley, understand.
Yeah, a lot of that's kind of true.
It is true.
It is. Yeah, I've won a few awards. Yeah,
exactly. And you've won the award in our heart, Larry.
Well, that's very nice. Very nice. Although I have to add something to what the Reverend says about paying. Well, no, about paying the light bill, paying the gas bill, and all the rest, and the cooling bill, and all the rest of that. Except that he's doing it in much older buildings that have not had a chance to be renovated because they spend their money on other things than renovations and upgrading these buildings. So the heating, paying the light, the gas bill is a little more expensive than what ours is. Our homes have been a lot of them have been upgraded and renovated so that we're not dealing
maybe your
with those
home,
things.
Larry, not a lot of our.
We bought a new home, a different home
right.
for us, this last year. So and it is more efficient than the other.
Well,
one.
and I appreciate you letting us know about the efficiency of your home, but
well, no, but I'm just talking about how much more it is. When you talk, he says
sure.
like everybody else, it's really not. I mean, you spend more. I've been in these buildings. I had to spend one entire morning repairing the door on one of these buildings.
But Larry, let me get back to Larry Gebert here of Channel 7 of covering the story. I love how, what is it, on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, you spent...
Well, the day before Thanksgiving,
right.
when we're over at the banquet.
How many times have you given up of your time to cover events? And that says a lot, because the cause is so important.
Well, it is, and I don't know the answer to that, Kevin. I can tell you it's a lot, because I do, and there's a lot of organizations that I help out. A lot of times, some of these dinner auctions and whatnot, I mean, I'll help out with those.
You'll wear a tuxedo.
Well, as an MC or as an auctioneer or both in some cases, because I do that. But it's for organizations that, that I can help, and because I have the God-given ability to talk, I utilize that to help these organizations. That's why I'm giving back what God gave to me. I'm help others.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're asking for today, you helping others here. And the stories of inspiration that have inspired our friend Dave Petzo to be an active member of the Boise Rescue Mission for so many years.
Yeah. They are. It's an amazing thing, and I think that's one of the things that's amazing, both about you, Kevin, as well as Channel 7, that all the people that I've worked with over at both organizations just spend an enormous amount of time out there in the community, off hours, away from their families, doing different events all the time. So thank you for doing that. It's incredibly helpful. It really motivates people.
Well, in any organization, it's a top-down thing. But what I like is how everyone at the station just is on board with it. I mean, it's not mandated. We're not told that we have to. It's just that when top-level management believes in something and you look at it and you recognize how important it is, it's easy to be a part of that. And that's what we do. But it's top-down. Our top-level management believes in the things that we do, and that's why we do them.
And here we are, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. I think somebody's watching videos over there, Reverend Bill, but we'll continue on.
No, actually, he's playing games. He's got a pretty good Candy Crush going here.
Yeah. Candy Crush. Well,
no, he's not. I'm just kidding.
I'm inviting people on my Facebook page to come on down to Kevin Miller's mission.
He's working.
580-KIDO, 107.5 FM, KIDO. Come on down. See Kevin Miller, Dave Petzo,
Tea Party Bob,
Larry Gebert. I can't remember who's here. There's so many people. We're having such a great
Tea Party
time.
Bob's taking calls on the phone here.
Yeah.
Perhaps the audience gets to hear that.
He's calling his stockbroker.
Yes, I'm glad we could keep his attention. So, Dave Petzo, a big day for the market.
It's a big day so far, yeah. We were seeing...
You were cheering, and I was gloomy as always.
Well, of course you were, because it doesn't make for good news. How are you going to pick on me?
Right.
How's Terry going to...
Terry's on his way, by the way.
He's on his way to tell me what's what. So, anyway, it is great. It's great to see that the negotiations with China are going well.
25,000, though.
We crossed 25,000 so far today. But again, the market's been up huge since Trump became president. The economic news is great. This is not a political statement. The economic news is fantastic. Earnings have been incredible, and there's no reason to be bearish at this point at all. Market corrections will occur, of course.
Can I just mention my mother for a second? Because I know she's not listening. She doesn't live in this state. But my mother, who has never, ever voted in her entire life. Okay, now for those who say, and I agree that that's wrong, that she never has, she's incredibly opinionated when it comes to politics, even though she's never actually voted. But one of the things that she said that I think is really most telling about this was, she says, I just don't know about President Trump. I just don't really know. She says, but but I do know that he's making improvements in the economy, and he's making improvements in the stock market. And again, it's not so much a political statement, it's just that she says, I have a hard time finding any fault with that.
Yeah.
When the investments that she's got are doing so well, and everything is progressing, and every day she looks at it, and there's ups and downs along the way, and there's going to be, and actually I like the way that you guys refer to it, a correction, you know, and there's natural corrections, and if you ever, like you do, Deb, I don't have to tell you this, if you follow the stock market on a long-term basis, what I told my mom, I said, don't look at the arrows each day, you'll drive yourself nuts, but look at it over the course of time, because there's always going to be corrections, and when you get to such a high level, a 5% correction is a really big number.
That's right.
For it to drop. But yet we used to have 10% corrections years ago that people would go, it's just a little drop.
Yeah.
And and that was a 10% correction. I mean, even during the 1930s, that correction was a huge one. It wasn't as much dollar-wise as it is now, but percentage-wise is what matters.
Percentage-wise is huge. It does. It's an interesting human dynamic right now that has gotten us to be so short-term focused. Even though we live longer lives, we have much more abundance generally in the world. People are much richer, and yet people are so discontented day to day. They can't think of what it's going to be like to 30 years from now as they enter in retirement. They don't think of their plans that way. I wish I could fix that, but I think social media and things like that are making us quicker and quicker all the time.
It's funny. I've seen cycles in this.
What is this, CNBC?
What's that? No, I'm sorry. No, but you know what? But here I'm gonna get you back on task.
Is this Market Watch?
Kevin, I'm gonna get you back on track. I'm gonna get you back on track with this statement because, and I know Dave has seen this, but there's fluctuations in time, and it's a mental outlook by the community. And if you remember in the 70s, when we started to go down a little bit, and right towards the beginning of the early 80s, interest rates shot up with the Carter administration before he left office.
I thought you were getting us back on track.
Hold on. But I've also noticed that there's an ebb and tide with volunteerism that also follows that same thing. As things were starting to go down economy-wise, people recognized they needed to help, and maybe they had more time. But they utilized their time for good, and they made more donations and they made more giving of their time during that time. And then we hit the mid '80s, where it was a very selfish time, and those donations all dropped off. And everybody started thinking, okay, I've struggled for a little bit, now I'm making some money, the economy is good, and it's because of those ebbs and tides that I think that it has an effect on the social aspects of the community and what is lacking and what is missing, because it always trails behind. So when the economy is going up, volunteerism is going down, and as the economy goes down, volunteerism goes up, and I think we're in one of those slides right now that we're going to see the little bit of selfishness, and that's why we need help for the rescue mission, because there's always needs out there.
We're kind of running long here.
I know, but this one for later this week. Reverend Bill can maybe talk about this a little bit, but
Reverend Bill's talked enough, and Larry Gebbert's talked enough.
Later this week. This brings up the same exact point.
Hold on, by the way, Larry brought up a lot of points. He always does. KIDO, you're listening to. Hold on, Dave. Let me just reset. You're listening to KIDO Talk Radio. We're here at the Nampa Walmart. I am just the potted plant. Go ahead, please.
Okay. You're a very pretty potted plant. I like the orange glow you have today.
Side of fries.
Yeah. It is, but as we enter into a good time and we enter into such abundance, people do become more selfish. We don't need God during periods when our lives are so great and grand. And we just don't turn around. So to me, it's the giving, it's God's influence in our life, all of that. When we get into a time where there's such a bunch, I don't need God. I got this covered, right? It's when we're hurt we feel.
Okay. Thank you. 580 AM, 107.5 FM, KIDO Talk Radio.
Quiet, we got this.
Can I just...
KIDO Talk Radio, let's go to break. And Dave Petzo's seed money, we're waiting for that. Miller's Mission continues here. Let's do traffic and weather together at KIDO Talk Radio. Get you to work. Okay, we have Terry and Dave Petzo going at it here. And Tea Party Bob, we'll ask you guys to shh for a minute. This is a very special moment. Our great friend Joe King, who has been with us for many, many years. Terry, don't be hugging him and kissing him right now. Let me try and get through this. Is leaving us, and we're very happy for Joe. And along with our great friend George, I just want to publicly thank Joey, you and George and everyone else, as I've called you many, many times in private, the special forces of not only KIDO Talk Radio, but of our entire company. These tents, the Boise Music Festival, it doesn't get set up on its own. The logistics, the communication, it doesn't happen without your magic, and you would be our Chuck Norris. So we will miss you. I want to thank you for always making these concepts that I have a reality. And, you know, as I've said, the people that make the difference are you and George and your entire team that you're very proud of. We will miss you. Hopefully we will continue on the tradition that you've set with us. And as I've said, you know, we couldn't have won the Marconi without you and George and everyone else. And I mean that because, you know, you have these flighty air people that have these ideas, and you're the one that makes it happen, you and George and everybody else. So thank you, sir.
I really appreciate that. It's been quite a ride coming over here, and I mean, I love this event, Miller's Mission, that you do every year and twice a year actually. But it hits my heart, and this is one of those events that I love being part of and coming out and helping set up and going through it. And I'm really going to miss this a lot. And so you're probably going to be stuck with me. I'll pop by here and there, and you know, and bring you some really awful coffee or something in the morning. I don't know, but something.
But you do the things that, again, you keep everybody focused, on task. And look, I have learned so much from you personally and professionally. I want to thank you for that, for allowing me to grow as a person.
Thank you.
And, you know, you remember when I was dating Mrs. Miller, we've gone from you as the Twinkie to me as the turkey.
That's a whole other story for another time.
Right. But your passion for this business, and our friend George who's listening, certainly should be recognized. And in our small, humble way, thank you. We wish you luck. You know, again, as you continue to travel more west of the Great River, God bless you and your family, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We can't get you to stay?
Nope. Heading to spend some time with Mom and Dad.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say to the listening public?
You are an amazing guy, Mr. Miller, and you do a lot for this community. And
I got a lot of issues.
Well, you do, but, you know, we still love you.
Well, we love you, Joe. We love you.
Thanks, man.
And
appreciate it.
Certainly we've had some incredible times. Remember our town hall meeting on at the Meridian Town Hall?
Yes, I do.
We've had a lot of adventures in the cage.
That particular meeting, you kept looking over at me. We were waiting for some nasty words on the radio, and they almost happened, but I was ready with the mic cords. But, yeah, it's been a really good time. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for making us big time.
You bet.
God bless everybody. We're here till Saturday at 6. Miller's Mission, Nampa, Walmart, Garrity, BoiseRM.org. God bless. Keep the faith, everyone.